So I think that's a good moment. 3 minutes we'll see as people come in, but just for the reasons of time management, we just get started. So a very warm welcome from my side and the ERN PaedCan project management team to all of you. Thank you for joining us this afternoon and taking the opportunity to catch some news. I think for us this is very important, and we are looking forward to a good and interactive question. I think we will ask for immediate questions after each section, but there's also a Q&A session foreseen at the end, should there be any open questions left. Everybody is muted. If you put on your cameras, that's fantastic, because it's always nicer to see you all rather than to talking to the screen. That's okay. Have your lunch. I will show you, even in the European Parliament, lunch style is completely adapted and okay. So no problem with that. So having said this, we go to the agenda slide, just to give you a little bit the scope. Next slide, Adri, please. To outline what we are going to share with you today. Overall, first of all, briefly, an activity update where we stand. We share with you also insights into the monitoring indicators and what they mean at the European level and how they impact ERNs. I think this is quite important, as these exercises are just to be done to secure our funding ultimately. And finally, I will report on the recent ERN activities at the European level. And this is also to give you some insights in the next MFF funding round. So having said all this, I'm handing over to Martin, because he will start out with the ERN PaedCan activity update, giving you some briefings on CPMS 2.0. Martin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ruth. Good afternoon also from my side. Adri, please go to the next slide. So one very nice graphic statistic to show you the increased activity that we have since February of this year. So in February, as you all know, the CPMS 2.0 was launched and was made available for all ERN PaedCan members. And you can see very nicely since then we had an increased activity, a lot of increased activity, more than double the users that we had compared to the old system, the old platform, and almost 40% plus in patients and case discussions, which is a very nice message. Next. The feedback we've received so far is overly quite positive. Everybody who uses the CPMS will already have seen this lot better design. It's much easier to navigate and much more intuitive compared to the old platform. And it offers many, I would even say all, the integrated functions that you would need for cross-border case discussions. Also, one very nice thing to report to you that in a big meeting, so the business implementation group of CPMS 2.0, where all the ERNs are represented, ERN PaedCan gave a testimony. So Malgorzata, very thankfully from Gdansk, she gave this statement testimony talking about her positive experiences that she has. She's working with the expert group on very rare tumors. These testimonies are something that the European Commission, DG Santé, would like every ERN to give. So far, PaedCan was the only one who volunteered, and I think we can be very proud of that. One point I would like to mention that recently, just before the summer break, a mobile app of CPMS 2.0 was made available. You can download it on your phones or also tablets in the Apple and Android stores. And if we go to the next slide, Adri, I'll give you a little bit of an outlook. So next year, after 1 year of operation of the CPMS 2.0, we would like to conduct a survey to ask feedback from all of you so that we have a good overview of what all of you think of the new platform. And then we'll also have a dedicated webinar on this mobile app, so you can also see and then try how this works. Next, the next topic already is the ESCPs and registry. Sorry. Next. So most of you, I think, know this slide. This is the most up-to-date version. We can be very proud of the many guidelines that have been produced and written in ERN PaedCan. You can see the number is 27 so far. One is in the process of being updated. As you know, this is a regular process that's part of this project to regularly update the guidelines whenever it's necessary. Additionally, very positive message that already 12 peer-reviewed papers were published. So as you know, the plan is to have for each of the ESCP a paper published, an open access paper, to make this, to disseminate the message of these guidelines even more. In contrast to previous, to the beginning of the project, all of those guidelines are freely available to download on the ERN PaedCan website. You have received an email earlier in the month that the PaedCan website has been completely revamped, redesigned to give it a much more modern appeal and functionality. And all of the guidelines are available for download from the website. Next. Regarding the registry, we had 2 webinars dedicated to this topic, one in July, which was more focused on our members from the widening countries, and then one in September for all the complete PaedCan community, let's say, where Ruth very nicely outlined the aims of the registry, showed what was already been developed and what the purpose of this registry is. We've made available some resources for everybody to be able to implement, hopefully, this registry in their hospitals that we've shared so far. So the documents that you have received are the registry protocol and some consent forms in German and English language that we hope can help you and you can use it as a resource for your own submission for ethics. Something that is still undergoing the last legal checks are the agreements, so data sharing and data transfer agreements. They should become available very soon, as I said, as they've completed the legal checks here internally, and then we will also make them available and share them via email with all of you. And that's it from my side so far. Thank you.
So I take the freedom to ask into the audience, are there any immediate questions before we move on to the topic of ORPHACodes? Any hands raised? I don't see them so well. I might comment because it fits here very well on some ambitions from an ERN European perspective. I think maybe most of you, but not all of you, will know that currently Germany has taken very elegant and wise decisions vis-à-vis registries. So they already have implemented what we all desire. Which means that you have like one ethical vote for registries only, facilitating this process enormously. But we are trying to move this topic also on the European level and to raise the interest in the rest of the member states. But such processes take time, so don't wait for this decision. But we hope that Germany will be such a pacemaker on this, that also the board of member states and all decision makers associated to this hopefully will follow this example. So this is one of the tasks we are trying to push really on the European level to facilitate across Europe the registry business overall for all of us. And don't forget, this registry is not competitive to any pre-existing at all. It's meant to be synergenic. I discussed also with Uta Dirksen, current SciBureau president, that we have with pre-existing clinical trial registries that capture now also long-term follow-up, that we can work on fusing the inputs of the two. But here, these ones are really meant for all those when we have no active frontline treatment protocol ready, capturing a minimum of data with opportunities in all the countries that are not closely connected yet to clinical trial groups, and have also oversight on their treatment activities in the frontline setting. And remember, we are just asking in this registry very slim data, molecular or known risk factors, so that we understand better the risk groups when we report patients' outcomes. And this is to monitor if with the guidance of the ESCPs, we will slowly but surely, hopefully overcome current inequities in cancer outcomes. Okay, so if there are no more questions, I don't see any hands raised. I think we can move on. And this is again to recall a little bit where we are with ORPHACodes. So this is a very hot topic on the European level and also across all ERNs. Just to remind you very briefly, what is nice about ORPHAcoding on the long run is that it creates a lot of interoperability across multiple languages that can connect the scope of rare diseases. And what is of particularly important, it's a great opportunity to also get the molecular genetic aspects in the subgroups of all entities really mirrored under the known topics as we know them under in the International Childhood Cancer coding number 3. There are discussions ongoing that ORPHACodes might play a role in reimbursement structures. But be reassured, this is not a European task. This is absolutely member state level. So this is to recall. And after all, it puts us into the community of rare diseases overall, and as such, also an opportunity for policy and funding decisions in the future. Next slide. So the common undertaking with ORPHANET, all the ERNs, but here particularly with ours inside Europe. Next. And what the task here is really to review and modify and release an ORPHANET classification of pediatric cancers. At large, pediatric cancers are covered, but the hierarchy and the systematic way they are shown is really a subject and quite a need for revision. And also this opportunity, as I already pointed out, to enter molecular level subgroups. And it's aligned with ICD-3 coding as well as with ICDO coding. Next. So just to explain you, because I want to encourage you to buy into this, because it will be really growing to a very strong supported platform from WHO into the regional level within the member states, that this will be used in the future. And it follows a simple structure of group disorder and subtype levels. Next slide. And what I wanted to report here, what we did in the meanwhile, so if you click further, Adri, please, is just to give you an impression how this looks like. We, together with ORPHANET, we have undertaken a cross-match of the ICC D3 coding with the ORPHACodes. And this is quite insightful on some levels, because I think since ORPHAcoding was growing over time, I think some revision is needed, because we see here, for example, if I pick out the lymphoid leukemias, there's on the one hand pediatric lymphoid cancer on the main term, and then we find also, for example, for the acute myeloid leukemias, then a specification of pediatric acute myeloid leukemias. If you click further, Adri. And then we go into ORPHAcodes, and then, for example, which is quite interesting, at the next level, the disorder level, we find then, interestingly, for AML, a lot of the molecular level translocations, for example. But on the other hand, when we look into ALL, you see, and I think this is the way it should be, a lot of the molecular subtypes should be actually at the subtype of the disorder. So it's really working with them. Here, this is just two examples that work to be done with ORPHANET. So not everything has to be completely reinvented, but it needs a review to get the hierarchical order right for the future. And it's obviously the opportunity in all the disease entities. So for the reasons of time, I'm not going any deeper here. Also for the solid tumors, this opportunity to enter the necessary subtypes and new insights. And as research goes on, it will be a continuous process that new molecular entities can then get an appropriate ORPHAcode on the subtype level. Next. So the team, there's a devoted team at the side of ORPHANET that really provide training and technical support. They prepare documents with access classifications for revision. So you're well guided and well served when you embark into this review. And I'm doing here a little bit for advertising, because we still need some volunteers. I will show this to you in a minute, in some of our entities to get this work delivered. The team that we addressed were the ESCP authors, and the main task here, just as a brief recall, was really reviewing the clinical entities, organize the disorder and sub-disorder level, and potentially close coding gaps and control for adequacy and accuracy. And this will ensure clinical and scientific alignment for the future, and will serve multiple tasks to come. Next. So very proudly, we have quite a number of experts already recruited in 13 countries, and 16 ERN PaedCan members are involved. But training sessions were held, there were meetings are ongoing, and this is a very active working group. Next slide, please. So we have to congratulate really the brain tumor working group that have engaged very strongly and have taken off quickly in all the entities. So this is ongoing work and very, very far advanced. So they will deliver soon. Very rare tumors and renal tumors are currently actively working. So this is ongoing work. And the next ones that are here on the slide are to be started very soon. So there are enough people recruited, experts recruited to work for osteosarcoma, MDS, NHL, liver tumors, LCH, and neuroblastoma. Next slide. And this is where we still need experts. So Adriana and Martin are sending out calls to find the people that are ready to buy in. And we have not enough nominations so far for Ewing's, for the non-RMS of tissue sarcomas, rhabdomyosarcomas, ALL, retinoblastoma, and no experts at all that volunteered to cover AML, familial leukemia, and Hodgkin's lymphoma. So these are our next upcoming tasks, and I hope that I can inspire you that this is a really interesting and very important work for the future. Next slide. Just a few words what is happening on the overall ERN level. We are quite discussing here about disease extensions related to ORPHAcoding. Next slide. And I think just to reflect this, the status quo in Europe currently, in the last monitoring exercise, we have seen coding levels on all ERNs and across all ERNs currently at 20 to 50%. And obviously, this is also taking up quite quickly. ORPHANet got further funding to support the teams from the European Commission. So the aim is to really reach this 75 to 100% level in the not too distant futures. So for the ERNs, there are some practicalities to be solved because all the ERNs have defined their thematic themes when they applied in 2017. Overall, they are right, but as things go on, there was a discussion to which level we need to apply for new disease entities to be embraced by a respective ERN. And we decided to be very pragmatic, and maybe there's some widening on the thematic and subthematic level, but really on the ERN side and under this umbrella, the ORPHANet coding just can grow because science goes fast. And for example, metabolic diseases, since the ERN was created, has almost doubled their ORPHACodes. So for us, the oversight is there. We follow the ICC3 structure and simply improve this visibility of the new molecular subgroups that correspond then also to risk grouping. And for the rumors of reimbursement, I said this in the beginning, this is very clearly a member state decision and not a European one at that time being. But there will be cross-analysis based on ORPHAcoding when it comes to frequencies of rare diseases across Europe. And there, it's good to be part of this community, also for future supporting funding. So are there any questions for ORPHAcoding? Then I'm happy to take them. If it's not the case, then we would move on, and I hand over to Adri to give us more insight on the monitoring indicators. Adriana, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ruth, and thank you everybody for joining us today. I will give a very brief update on the monitoring indicators. And okay, as most of you know already, this continuous monitoring of the ERNs was established by the European Commission and the member states back in 2017 when the ERNs were created. And the idea is that this exercise helps demonstrate the value of the ERNs on a yearly basis. And for this reason, it is composed of a set of indicators that kind of help ensure that both the ERNs and the members continue to meet all the requirements and high standards expected. And as I said, I think you are already very familiar with the figures on the right. These are collected annually via the SANTE platform. and the EU survey that the coordination team circulates at the beginning of each year. And as you all know, starting on with the new grant in 2023, new KPIs were added. And these KPIs are another step in this direction of showing the value of the ERNs. So these new KPIs are here marked with an asterisk. And I want to go through all of them, but I just wanted to mention that this set of 18 KPIs, which cover very different topics and work packages from the ERNs, for example, such as the HCP performance indicator system. Some dissemination indicators are also taken into account, such as the website traffic data set, or how many downloads ESCP guidelines are recorded from the ERN website. These are all going to be used. I will go a bit to the next slide. It is just for you to see what are the different KPIs that are also covering registries, accredited and non-accredited training, and so many different aspects of all the activities that all 24 ERNs are performing. And the reason why we wanted to bring this update to you is because for the very first time since the ERNs were created, the European Commission will publish a report on all of these indicators. And this indicator will not only cover ERN PaedCan, but it will cover the 24 ERNs. To begin with this first report, the data that will be selected is that will be published, is from 2023 and 2024. And basically, we take this information, of course, it's taken from everything that you as HCPs and also us as network have reported in the platform of the European Commission. And I think the reason why why it's important for us to make you aware of this new report is that this is a very important tool that the European Commission is now taking and promoting to show the value of the ERNs at the European level, like what we do for training, what we do for the number of patients that are treated within the diagnosis of each of our networks. And this is because of this is expected to be now a yearly activity. So the European Commission will, from now onwards, publish a report, a public report on these indicators. So with this, our main message is for you to please participate actively. I have to say that ERN PaedCan has very high levels, high numbers of participation, and we would like to encourage you to continue like that, because this is going to reflect how the network is portrayed and presented at the European level together with the other ERNs. So I think from now onwards, it's going to be really even more important to be active in this exercise. And also what is very important for all of us is that now we are going to see a report on what's happening as a comprehensive overview, not only for us in ERN PaedCan, but also for the other networks. So this first report is expected to be published by the end of November. We don't have a specific date, but we will for sure circulate it as soon as it's available. And we will also, you will also be able to find it on the website. So as soon as we receive it, we will share it with you. And I think that's all from me. If you have any question?
So I don't see any hands raised, Adri, so I think we just can move on to the next session.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, thank you.
So it's now my pleasure to introduce to you the more recent activities at the European level. And I think it's interesting for everybody because ultimately we are talking about funding. Next slide. So the ERN future, this is our current headache. You know it from many grant applications that we're always talking about sustainability. And what we really have to fight for is to have the recognition of the ERNs as an added value in cross-border healthcare beyond national healthcare systems. So the ERNs really provide, let's say, a glue that makes it all work. Next. So maybe quite interesting for quite a few of you. I don't know how much you already have been introduced on the local level to the next EU budget, the multi-annual framework that is building up currently. And this covers the period from 2028 to 2034. So I'll give you a brief overview in a nutshell. The currently proposed budget shows an increase from 1.21 trillions, the previous, to now 1.98 trillions. So this multi-annual financial framework is, as you may know, a long-term budget. That's it, the budget limits and also strategic priorities, this time over a 7-year period across multiple funding instruments. And the European Commission proposal is to deliver a long-term budget that is, on the one hand, larger and more flexible, streamlines the European financial programs, and also focuses on EU collaboration in health and innovation. There were a lot of worries that health may fall short under the current political climate, but I will show you some details that we actually, it's not that it's not there, it's maybe a little bit hidden because we don't have, like in the last period, a strong health program very visible. Next one. So we hope they're impressive euros, and we hope that the ERNs don't miss out. Next. And this is just to recall a little bit how the whole thing is moving. There was a Commission's proposal in July 2025. We are in a phase of beginning negotiations and the release of a legislation concerning individual funding programs. 4 MFF consultations were answered in May, and 3 additional ones were ongoing and just terminated now or have been terminated on the 12th of November. And it's important to know that the council level is the main decision maker. So SciAmp Europe has built an ambassador network. So I think it will be very important in this time that in each and every country, an influence also comes through the health ministries to put their insights and these wishes into this negotiation phase that is upcoming. Next. So the formal adoptions will go on in 2026 from onwards of Q1, and is foreseen roughly for a year till Q1 2027. And for this, the ERNs as a common group have made really strong contacts, and I will show this you in a minute, to the SAND committee and relevant decision makers. Next slide. Just to outline a little bit better, you can click, Adri, please. Next one. Yes. Okay. So what we see here is, on the one hand, there's one instrument that is the European Competitiveness Fund that includes Horizon Europe. And here we are talking in euro billions as the framework was put out. Health is integrated in this competitiveness fund and replaces EU for Health. Currently, we see there 22.6 billion for health and bioeconomy. And the health priorities, as currently suggested, include rare disease collaboration, health system efficiency, access to medicines, and also promotion to innovation and biotechnology. Next. So the synergies with Horizon Europe are also important. I will come back to this next, but one more click. What is important when we just talk about the previous ERN budget in EU for Health? This was for a 5-year multi-annual grant, and this amounted to 77.4 million total for 5 years. So if we extrapolate this to a new budget of 7 years, then the corresponding allocate would be 110 million as a minimum to be demanded, because the period is longer. And since everything in our current economic landscape is getting more expensive, it actually should be a higher budget to maintain the same impact, not even talking about additional smart ideas. So we will have to make a case. And what is really interesting is that particularly the politicians underpin the success stories in the ERN networks in cross-border healthcare. So we will go out also to ask you related to the CPMS2 or patient transferers that made a real difference, because this is what counts in the multi-plenary meetings that are taking place next year. Next slide. So just quickly and briefly, you can click further, about the new MFF with the correlationship also towards Horizon Europe. And I think it's interesting that there is also quite an increase in this sector from 95.5 billion to 175 billion compared to the previous period. There are 4 pillars that support research, innovation, and should attract and nurture research talents, foster international collaborations, and connect science with society. And very interesting focus will be on regenerative therapies, but also on diverse ATMPs, CAR T cells, and to overall support research and innovation. So I think here, particularly also for the cancer field, there are quite some good opportunities that can be perceived in these upcoming proposals and hopefully MFF. Next one. So this is what we are doing currently on the political level. So together with all the ERNs, we had an invitation on the 5th of November to the second one, actually, to the European Parliament for a lunch discussion meeting. So it's completely appropriate to eat and discuss, because politicians have not a lot of time. And we have met MEP Sokol, MEP Andriukaitis, and MEP Voiculescu. You will remember maybe MEP Andriukaitis, who is also in the middle of the photograph to the right, who was a previous health commissioner and inaugurated the ERNs and is now extremely active in the Sand Committee. They are building up a real big political momentum to really keep the focus here on the funding streams. Next one. The last few slides I devote to a big meeting that we are intensively working on. As you may know, I'm currently the chair of the trio of the ERNs. So this is acting chair with a past and a pre. And we rotate, and within our scope here is really building a research and innovation ecosystem for rare and complex diseases. This is an extremely high-level meeting placed on purpose into this time frame. It has also received structural funding to take place and involves a number of very, very high-level stakeholders, which will be very important to have the right votings and the goodwill within the next MFF. Next slide. This event will be accessible online because for the room where it's taking place, we have about 150 places, but it's also virtually accessible. So we have 3 days. The first day being devoted to research and innovation. The second day on EU infrastructure and related skills. This is in the Residence Palace, and on day number 3, policy and funding directly in the European Parliament. So I'm not reading out all the details. We will circulate and share the program so that you can orientate yourself what is interesting for you. And just to show you a little bit who will be coming on each of these days. Next slides. So these are our invited speakers and plenaries on day 1 in this HLM event for rare. So obviously one of the driving forces, Eventis and Reucaitis, but you see also a number of high-level people, of health ministers, of health attachés, of stakeholders from the rare disease communities that all will speak up to the research and innovation part. And on day 2, similarly high, next slide. Similarly, very high level people with representation of the ERNs of the respective ones, going in deeper into the infrastructure setting and the skills to promote and highlight the needs and why a European investment is needed. And finally, on the last day in the European Parliament level, you see here Oliver Valheri as a European Commissioner is going to speak, just to name a few. Again, not reading through all the names, you will find it in the program. We have Joanna Drake speaking, just to pick out a few ones. So I think with all this force and spreading the news about the needs, next slide, Adri, please, the last one. I think this is really creating a huge momentum for the rare diseases. So currently on this oversight from 2024 to 2025, we are at the end of the axis. And so December marks a milestone with this high-level meeting, HLM Rare. And this coincides also with the second international conference on clinical research networks taking place in Heidelberg, and then goes on with advancements of treatments for rare diseases in March in Nicosia. So the presidencies are always very important because they contribute enormously on the decision level of the council. So the current presidency is under Denmark, and the next one is taken on by Cyprus. So this is just to keep you posted and informed what is to be done to secure funding for the next 7 years, because this is for us also in the pediatric cancer field, extremely important, and also important events that still have origin in the original cancer mission work was, for example, one of the outputs of the cancer mission was the creation of the European Network for Comprehensive Cancer Centers. This is a lot of work done currently by mission action groups on the respective national level. But this network of comprehensive cancer centers is funded with 90 million to increase the networking and to improve the research and care interaction across Europe. So this is a topic by itself. But it was again also a good opportunity to say, I recall you of something that Gilles Vassal has previously reported or it's published under the name of the Ocean Project, that our pediatric infrastructures are just only 16 centers are close to such structures, and when we go for political Europe, all the other pediatric comprehensive centers, about 80 more, if we view them in terms of research and care delivery, are outside this envisaged CCCs. So there's still time to raise the voice and to reassure that pediatric cancer remains visible, as it can happen very quickly in difficult political times, that the awareness lowers if we don't keep the awareness level high. So thank you very much. That was a little bit on an update for the European level. And we are doing very well time-wise. And we are now in a Q&A session. The floor is open to your questions. I think we can put away the slides now, then we can see each other, and maybe put on also the cameras. And let's see if here are any questions. We are happy to answer and also hear your wishes and input. So feel free to speak up. We take you as you raise your hand. If nobody has any questions, then I would like to encourage us at least to put on the cameras that we can take a nice picture of all attendees as usual, so that we can memorize this. Oh, here we have a hand. Maria Winter. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So I'm from Norway. I was wondering about the ORPHANET coding, if that's something that is, I don't know how far the process has come with the national cancer registries, for example, in Norway, where we have national registries.
I think this is a very good question, yeah, because currently the ORPHACodes in many ERNs feed into the ERN specific registries, yeah, 24 ERNs that all have created registries. But this not necessarily is, there's no decision or no influence like top down to really use the ORPHACodes in the national cancer registries. Yeah, so I think this is something potentially to come, but only when it's ready. So what I'm usually saying, we have now the project foreseen to run all year of 2026, and I hope we're done with the ORPHAcoding for the entities by that time, and only as of then it will be of relevance for the national cancer registries. And again, to remember both of these decisions for the national cancer registries as well as for any reimbursement-related question is really a member state level, although the promotion goes to this direction to allow also when national cancer registry data is put together on the European level to move slowly but surely to ORPHAcoding on the longer run. Thank you. Any more questions? So if there are none, I will not keep you any longer, and maybe we just go for a group photo then.
I have already taken them.
Okay, you already have done
Yes.
that. Wonderful. Okay, so if indeed everything was sufficiently clear, we will come back to you early next year with further updates as they come along. I hope you found it informative, and we keep in touch with you anyway through emails on the specific topics that concern the respective hospitals in the network overall. So thank you very much for having been with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you. Bye.